Hello there. How are you all doing? I hope you got through another day of solitary confinement. I've had 2 weeks of social distancing where I just go to the grocery store or I go for a walk on the beach um, and I stay away from people. And today I thought I was going to be able to see my daughter, and she had a cold. And I cried and acted like a child. Um, and I just felt this heartache again. I've had this heartache happening because it's just so different. And yet at the same time, I know that I am not alone with this. I'm alone, so I was feeling like I'm so lonely. And then I have friends who have children, and they're like, I'm going crazy. And there's other people who are. The only good thing about this is we're not all crazy on the same day. So one day we're appreciative, and the next we're not, and we're up and down with this. And rightly so, given that a few weeks ago we had no idea where we'd be right now. So I hope you're all staying home and following orders so that we can do our time inside. And it's counterintuitive, I know, not to talk to someone up close. But someone said something yesterday that helped me, which was that instead of looking at it being rude, moving away from people, look at it as a loving thing that you're not going to give them something. And I thought that's somewhere I can go. So we had a little vote today on Facebook about whether we're going to do Nashville story or the Norwegians on the bus. I got to say it was dead broke even. So I am going to put the Nashville story up first, and then tomorrow night I'm going to do the Norwegians. I need a little more time to go through my lines with that one because I can't just read it. Anyway, some of you have heard this story in my live show, but it's a nice story. And I was in Nashville, and I had been doing this practice of trying to just write down what I saw and what I heard when I saw someone. So this is what this story is. It's in my new book, Window Shopping for God. It's a memoir I'm doing. And thank you for the people that give support to that through the GoFundMe, because honestly, right now I can use it as many artists and many other people, our work has gone away. So for those of you that have been kind enough to offer money in the past, I just thank you. Those little things that you do really help me. And if you want to give, I'll put that up at the end of this. And it's also on my Facebook wall. And I also will be doing the Norwegian story tomorrow night. But it's also up on Kimmet.ca if you want to just put Norwegians and Kimmet. The stories are there if you want to read it. So I'd like to also thank two people for talking me down off the edge today, who are loving friends, Scott White and Ed Sahaley. Just loving people who just remind me that it's one day at a time. And yeah, so as my dad used to say, stay on the bus, the view changes. And this story kind of illustrates that. Um, it's called The Other Bus in Nashville. Hi there. How are you? See you. Okay, so I was riding the other bus in Nashville, the bus that most working class people ride. I took it because it cost $2 as opposed to 20. It's the bus that tourists don't use, so let's just say I stand out. The bus driver says in that lovely southern drawl, ma'am, the tour bus is coming along in a minute. And I said, no, I can take this bus. And he goes, don't you want to take the other bus? And I make my way down the aisle and take a seat toward the back. I look out the window at the other Nashville. Some young teens in school uniforms board. They're chatting and laughing. One flops down in the seat ahead of me, and when she looks back at me, she does a second take and she goes, hello, ma'am. Are you, this is not the tour bus. And I said, I'm okay, thank you. And there was a small, wiry black man looking at me, and he laughs. And I know that he's going to say the same thing. So I interrupt him and I go, yes, I know. And he laughs and he says, oh, listen to your accent. I get it. You're European. You have that British European air about you. And I said, sorry, no, I'm from Canada. And then I fix my dramatic Pashima scarf. He goes, Canada? I love you Canadians. You people got it going up there. I go, well, I love Nashville. And we both seem to relax. And he goes, well, it's okay, but it's not home. I'm from Louisiana. I'm from the Bayou. Oh, I say in my sophisticated British accent that I'm now known for. And he says, I love to cook Cajun. Well, what kind of Cajun do you cook? He goes, pancakes. Are pancakes Cajun? And he goes, no, no, pancakes are just pancakes, ma'am. No, I mean, like, what do you do to make them taste Cajun? And he goes, well, I'm Cajun and I make pancakes. So that makes Cajun pancakes. And then I break into a big smile and we feel awkward for a second. He's Southern, so good manners are ever present. He feels the pressure to come up with something nice to say to me. He goes, well, I do sometimes add nutmeg. And I said, well, that sounds delicious. I've added cinnamon. He goes, oh, no, ma'am. No, 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 no. Cinnamon is bitter. Oh, do you find that? Oh, yes, ma'am. The reason I add nutmeg is confusing to the mouth. And then for the next hour, he and I talk about the States, the war, the guns, how it's ruining his country. And about an hour in, I pull the ringer to get off at my stop. I gather up my stuff. I drop a pamphlet. And as I do, he leans in to pick it up and whispers, ma'am, would you like to go out for a drink with me? I go, no, no, sorry. No, I'm going to see Vince Gill. And I'm sweet of you, but, and he sits back, almost hurt, and says, okay, ma'am, I don't need to be begging no woman. And as the bus pulls away, I look at the storefront and I'm standing in front of a sign that says, we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. And when I gather my bearings, I see that I'm standing at the corner of Broadway and Rosa Parks Boulevard. Good night. That's your story. So when you get anxious and you want your own way and you want it to end, just stay on the bus. The view changes. Have a good Monday night.